Hello, traders. Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com, Sunday, the 9th of July, with your weekend video newsletter. We'll talk about the indices, all of which closing lower for the week. In addition, we'll talk about stocks that look like they're ready to follow through. We did have energy moving higher to finish the week, along with some industrials, an upgrade in Rivian, along with an article about Walmart in Barron's this weekend.
There you go.
The S&P 500 did fall 1.16% on the week, but still remains in an uptrend. We're up over 25% from the October low, with the NASDAQ 100 pretty much doing the same thing, with IWM lagging still in this sideways range, in the upper half of that range now, and the Dow Industrials, with its 30 leading big cap stocks, also flat for the most part, off almost 2% on the week. Longer term monthly cycles, stocks versus commodities in the lower panel still outperforming like they were back in 2003, 2009, and 2019, suggesting the trend is intact, with stocks and breadth taking a breather last week, setting up for the next leg higher. That said, in the bigger picture, structurally we see heavy mean reversion revolving around the 4400 S&P 500 level, moving above it on Friday and then closing right near that level at the closing bell. We'll start the week with a bit of caution. There are stocks that are being upgraded and some stocks like Walmart that Barron's covered in an article over the weekend. Consumer discretionary versus consumer staples turned higher, telling you that consumer discretionary is outperforming. That's bullish for equities. You can see when it turned down and consumer staples started to outperform, that was a bearish signal when the market started to turn lower in 2022. So that is a bullish signal longer term. So we did see healthcare off the most last week along with consumer staples. Energy was higher, with many stocks like Schlumberger breaking out of this downtrend on above average volume, along with many stocks from the industry group. That said, we'll be a bit more cautious on the indices and watch for follow through in the stocks from this industry group as they show remarkable strength going into the close on Friday. The biggest caveat for the bulls, of course, is the 10-year yield. We ran up to the February resistance level and got rejected. If we follow through and start heading back to the October highs, I would expect that the markets will pull back even more, in particular the FANG stocks. If this moves lower, that would be bullish. Look for a follow through after this recent leg lower. We also had the US dollar moving in the opposite direction, so that's having an impact on commodities. So if the 10-year yield and the US dollar continue this path lower, that would be bullish for equities. If we get a bounce and move back to the top of this range, doesn't seem likely, that would be bearish in the short term. For now, we're neutral, watching what the US dollar and the 10-year do to start the week. Brent crude and gasoline have been in a sideways range, with the moving averages overhead, RSI starting to turn. Keep an eye on Brent and gasoline prices. That would be bullish for equities if it continues to move lower, bearish if it moves higher. Going into the summer months, we're starting to see copper make higher lows. We're looking for a higher high. That would be bullish for equities as well if it does move and surpass that $4 level. And we'd like to see the CRB index, commodities, continue this path lower as well, with commodities underperforming the S&P 500, which is reflected in this chart. Commodities underperforming S&P 500 stocks. The cycle has turned up. That's bullish for equities on the monthly time frame. IBD 50 for the week. We have a nice mix of stocks. I do see some travel and leisure names like American Airlines, Carnival Cruise Lines hanging in there. Sports betting stocks, DraftKings higher off of the bounce. The 21-day moving average up and to the right, bullish. We saw strength in materials, energy, some industrials, some financials as well last week, in particular the payment processors. Mr. Flood looking at Visa, with Farmer Jim looking at Block, SQ. MasterCard also looked pretty good. Upstart and SoFi looking for a follow through. Live Nation is back on the list, moving higher on Friday. I believe Josh Brown mentioned something on Thursday or Friday, one of those. Additional cruise and airlines, Norwegian Cruise Lines, Ryanair, showing strength, potential consolidation. Tesla consolidating 21 days, catching up with price. United Rental moving a bit higher. The 21-day up and to the right. United Rental usually performs fairly well during the summer months. Uber also bouncing at the 21-day. We're looking for a follow-through candle on Monday. And United Airlines performing very well, rising above its 21-day moving average up and to the right. That's bullish. Volume looks good. And looking for a break above 56.50 along with the whole group. Do recall that we saw hotels breaking out on Friday, Hilton, Marriott, the Hyatt. Watch for these to continue. Note the 9/21 day or above the 200-day. Volume starting to pick up. MACD's above its signal line. Stochastics embedded. So look for a flag or a follow through. RSI is rising. Plenty of room to the upside, suggesting we could see higher prices in the short term. Rivian, of course, something we traded last week. Got an upgrade from Wedbush. The thing here is the stock has traded over 225 million shares on Friday, and there is potential for more upgrades to come as the company is seen as more confident in hitting its targets for year-end deliveries, which is helping some of the U.S. manufacturers, with GM bouncing off the 21-day back above the 200-day, 9 days running on decent volume. MACD's above its signal line, stochastics embedded. Maybe we flag in here. I'd like to buy it off the 90 MA on any pullback. In addition, we did see some of the AI stocks building more bullish patterns. AI tried to break through 42, saw profit taking, but volume is starting to build again. MACD's trying to turn. Stochastics is set up, could continue higher along with RSI. So keep an eye on C3 AI for this week. I thought this was rather interesting as well. Boston Beer, Sam Adams, looking for that to bounce. Article in Barron's this weekend. Just go to barrons.com. You can check that out for yourself. The stock looks pretty good, though, especially if you like trading multiple bottoms. That's a good risk reward. Put a stop under 300. If it doesn't continue to move back towards the mean, the 200-day moving average around 344, maybe you get about 10, 15, 20 points out of this one. Check out the article in Barron's. Very interesting thoughts on Sam Adams. Okay, traders, that's going to do it for me. This is Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com with your weekend video newsletter. I'll send out a weekend watch list later tonight around 12 o'clock midnight on the East Coast, if not earlier, 9 o'clock on the West Coast, so be sure to check your inbox for that. Those will be stocks that we'll be looking forward to as a follow-through this week. Have a great weekend. What's left of it, take care, and we'll see you on Monday. Ciao.